Hello, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the start of another reading vlog. This reading vlog will be focused on the Tis the Damn Readathon, the Taylor Swift Readathon, which is happening throughout all of March. So it's Tuesday 16th of March, and the first 2 weeks of March I dedicated to the Irish Readathon, which is also happening throughout all of March. And I have 2 vlogs that I did for that readathon, which I will link below. Make sure to check them out if you feel like it. So a book that I started last week and I'm still reading is the play The Playboy of the Western World by Singh, which is a Irish play that was written in 1907, and I'm reading that one for the March of the Moderns readathon. I will do a separate vlog dedicated to that readathon probably next week. It's a lot of readathons. But this play specifically I will be discussing with Margaret, who is the host of the readathon. Tomorrow we will have a live discussion on her channel. By the time this will be up, it will be available on her channel, so you can go and check it out. I will put a link below. I only have 1 act out of 3 left. Otherwise, I'm also in the middle of an audiobook, Joy of Movement by Kelly McGonigal. Kelly McGonigal is one of my favorite non-fiction writers. I adore all the books that I've read by her, and this one specifically is about why we humans need to move. There's so many little stories of people who are describing the runner's high. How does that feel? And not just, ooh, you need to go back in. There's so many little stories of people who are describing how they feel the runner's high, and not just in terms of running, but other sports and movement and dance classes and whatever. Like that feeling when you're moving your body and you feel happy and strong, and just listening to all of that makes me really want to do something. And the book that I want to start today is The Wrath of Wolves by Kelly York and Rowan Atwood. This is the 3rd book of the Dark is the Night series. This feels perfect for one of the prompts for the Tis the Damn Readathon. So this is the plan. Welcome.
Salt air and the rust on your door. I never needed anything more. Whispers of are you sure? Never have I ever before. But I can see us lost in a memory. August slipped away into a moment in time, 'cause it was never mine. And I can see us twisted in bed sheets. August slipped away.
I'm about to go live with Margaret to discuss The Playboy of the Western World for St. Patrick's Day, which is today. That's why I'm wearing green. I realized that I need more summer greens, because all my greens are wool and it's way too hot inside.
Like a bottle of wine, 'cause you were never mine.
How are you? Hello. Today I had a doctor's appointment around noon and I was running late, so I didn't film anything, and then I was rushing home to teach a class, which I just did, and now it's already around 5 p.m. Am I blurry? And I think I'm going to read for an hour before doing my workout of the day, and maybe read more before bed. I'm currently enjoying The Wrath of Wolves, which is the 3rd book in the Dark is the Night series. It took me a bit to get to this book because the first 2 books follow James and Will. The setting is Victorian England. It's paranormal. The first book, they meet in a boarding school and they deal with ghosts and they fall in love. It's very creepy and awesome. It's everything I love. The second book is they're a little older and they're working now in the paranormal business together. But this 3rd book is about 2 other characters that went to school with James and Will. We met them in the first book, Preston and Benjamin, and truth be told, I barely remember them from the first book. I mean, I remember that James had like a bunch of friends in the first book in the school, but do I like remember Preston and Benjamin? No. So I'm not like attached to these characters. So it wasn't a book that I was just jumping into because, you know, I know and love these characters. And in this book, Preston and his best friend Benjamin go to America to deal with another paranormal case, and they're dealing with some kind of cursed object. They're transporting an object to the US and trying to keep it safe. And I'm just in the beginning, so I don't yet know what the object implies. The thing that bothered me a little bit in the beginning, it's first person dual perspective. So there is a chapter from Preston and there's a chapter from Benji, and it sort of just jumps into the scene, it jumps into Preston's life, and it's mentioned a lot they're best friends, but because I don't remember them very well from the first book, I don't remember what their lives are like, what kind of people they are, and what is their relationship. Are they like just best friends who, you know, are attracted to each other but have never spoken their feelings out loud? Or are they more like James and Will, who have had a relationship for a while? Like, and I had to like sort of read between the lines of how they were interacting with each other to be like, oh, you are not aware of it. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm overall enjoying it. I'm just not as excited about this one as I was of the other books in the series, where I will have more thoughts later.
You're back beneath the sun, wishing I could write my name on.
Evening. I feel like this vlog is so erratic. Can't focus on vlogging. Initially I was, you know, having all these ideas for the Taylor Swift readathon. I wanted to have a lot of like Taylor content, but so far this week it's just been really busy, and there are things happening, and there are things that I'm like that are on my mind, and I can't really focus on anything. But now it's like 10 p.m. and there are reading sprints happening, and I'm gonna take this time to read more of my book, which I'm enjoying more and more as I'm getting to know the boys better. Tomorrow is another busy day with an early start, and I kind of just want this week to be over. If you saw my spoiler tag, I was talking about this book by a Swedish author about Stockholm in 1794, and it's supposed to be about crime and murder, but apparently it's like super violent with very graphic depictions of violence. So nope. Or was it this one? I don't even remember. It looks so cool. Quite some time to spare. I have like 2 hours, and I decided to take a walk around this pond. This is the Patriarche pond. If you've read Master and Margarita, this is where the action starts. This is the first scene where the main character meets Voland. This is where it all happens, and this is what they're famous for, basically, that book. So it's the 19th of May, and I woke up to a fresh round of snow. It's white yet again, and it's a little frustrating because, I mean, March is almost over and everyone's just itching for spring, for some warmth and sun and greenery, but it's snowing again. On my way home now, I have to stop by the post office to pick up a very exciting package.
Will you call when you're back at school? I remember thinking I had you, but I can see us lost in the memory. August slipped away into a moment in time, 'cause it was never mine. And I can see us twisted in bed sheets.
Oh my god, there's light. I can potentially read while in bed. What? Obviously, I still need to install them where I want them. Not sure yet, but I've been dreaming of bedside lamps for like over a year now. I have trouble like envisioning how something would look in my space. Like, I can see something that is very pretty, but I don't know if when I put it in my room it will look good. So I changed because it's too hot. Let me talk to you a little bit about the book that I'm reading. I just got to the halfway point of the Wrath of Wolves. Oh my god, I forgot the name for a second. I realized that one of the reasons why it took me so long to pick up this book, the third book in a trilogy that I really enjoy, is because it has wolves in the name, and the series is paranormal and they're dealing with ghosts and spirits, which I'm all for. But I think I was really dreading werewolves because I felt like, well, if this is a paranormal series and it has wolves in the name, it must be about werewolves. I think I want to do a separate video about all the things in books that I don't enjoy reading about, and werewolves are on that list. But I have to say, being at the halfway point, we're still not, like, we don't know what the story of that object that they've been transporting. There's been a lot of action connected to this object, but we still don't know why, you know, they hear howling of wolves or whatever. So I feel like even if this book will mention werewolves or have them in the story, being at the halfway point, I feel like they will be introduced late enough in the story that it will be okay. Because I feel like, I don't want to read a whole book about werewolves. I've no interest in that. But if it's like a little element of this cursed object and will be like revealed in the end, I'm more cool with that. So this book reads as mystery/adventure first and romance second, is how the other books were as well, and I really enjoy that because like you get all like the fun mystery stuff, but in the back there's always this like, as I probably mentioned before, this is friends to lovers, but not really in a, you know, I just realized that I'm in love with my best friend, and like every time they glance at me it's like electricity in the air. It's not really that. They've been friends for a while, they've been roommates at their school for a long time, so they're very comfortable with each other, and I feel like they kind of suspect that they're, you know, that the other is attracted to them. They have this like weird dynamic that like they know that something's happening, but they're just never saying what it is. And because they've been roommates for years, in this book they do end up living in close quarters, and they do get to share a bed and stuff, but it's never, I like that it's never used by the writers as, you know, the usual trope of sharing a bed together, which is definitely more, I feel like it's definitely more realistic and more in character. I also wrote a note about how I really like how Kelly York and Rowan Atwood write fights. Like sometimes you get a romance novel where two characters, they want to be together, but there's always like a conflict, and then they resolve it and they end up being together. But I feel like not that often we get the kind of fight which is not caused by some other thing, not just one person doing something that's, you know, definitely wrong and having to apologize, but getting to that conflict of, I don't know, personalities or something. Here's a quote: "He's quiet but no longer aloof and angry. It would truly be simple to play along and go about our business as usual. I would be doing us both a great disservice if I did that, I think." And also I feel like it's so important to see characters, to read books about characters who have to talk through conflict and do, you know, feel that uncomfortable feeling of having to, you know, open up and lay your defenses down and try to work it out and talk it through. Not just, you know, one person apologizes, the other person says, yeah, thank you, but actually like, let's talk about this. Because I feel like if you're in your real life, you don't really see that kind of behavior. Every time you encounter that in a book, it's like your brain sees that there's a different option, and every time you read that other route of, you know, behavior during conflict gets stronger. And also reading the words that they're saying, how they're communicating, gives you the vocabulary, gives you the phrases, gives you the words to articulate certain things, and it's so important. Anyway, I'm really enjoying this book and I'm really enjoying my lamps. It's a good Friday. I feel good.
August safe to wait like a bottle of wine, 'cause you were never mine.
Happy Saturday! Is this my new filming spot? So today I finished The Wrath of Wolves, yes! I really enjoyed it. I have to say, out of all the 3 books in the series, I probably enjoyed this one the least. But like, the first 2 books were 5 stars, this is a 4-star. It's not like it's a bad book. I don't think this is a spoiler if I tell you that this is not a world that has werewolves. I'm pretty sure there was never ever a mention in all of 3 books. There was never a mention of like a magical creature. So if you're like me and you're unsure about picking up books with werewolves, this is not a book about werewolves. This is very much ghosts. I have to say there was even like less romance in this book than I thought. Like just the role of romance in the story is very small. I realized that I have a novella of this series that I've not read yet. It's supposed to go after the 2nd book, so before this one. Started reading it and now like it makes more sense. If you're reading the series, try to also read this novella before going into the 3rd book, because you know, again, the first 2 books were following James and Will. It's like their adventure, it's their lives. And the 3rd book, we follow 2 other characters that we met in the 1st book. And this novella sort of like reintroduces us to them. It's from the perspective of Benji, at least so far. And if I had read this novella before going into the 3rd book, things would be more clear as to who these characters are. So my bad of not reading that. So I think today is the day that I will start talking about Taylor a little more, since this is the Tis the Damn Readathon. Before that, I want to take a shower, I want to wash my hair, and I actually just picked up a new shampoo. Not that this is like super exciting, but I want to share. I started using Solid Bar shampoos and I'm really enjoying them. And I picked up, don't know what's it called in English. It looks like this. It's very pretty. Hello, I look probably very red to you right now. I did exfoliate in the shower. Okay, let's talk about Taylor's. The very first song that I ever heard by Taylor Swift was the song Innocent from her very first album, Taylor Swift. And it was, I'm pretty sure I was watching a YouTube fan-made video about a pairing in Harry Potter. I don't even remember which one it was. That's actually how I got into, not got into, but like how I would discover new artists and new music, through fan-made videos on YouTube of different pairings, different fandoms that I was in, and I really liked it. Slowly but surely, I started becoming obsessed. At that point, I was already writing songs. I was a very big fan, and still am, of One Republic and The Fray, and that was sort of the kind of music that I was like really going for. I played only the piano at that point. That's what I used to write songs. And here comes, you know, this girl who is writing her own songs. They're super fun and cool, and something inside me was just like, I can do that too. I started bugging my mom to buy me a guitar. She was very reluctant. I definitely was the kind of kid who got like really obsessed with something and then in like 2 weeks completely forgot and moved on to something else. I don't know if it's just me or if it's a Gemini thing, but she, I bugged her so much that she agreed to buy me a guitar. But she would only buy me like the cheapest, the like simplest guitar possible. She was not going to like invest a lot of money in something that I will probably give up and, you know, never play that instrument again. In retrospect, that guitar was probably not the best for me to use because I never learned how to play guitar by like, how do I explain this? Like, I still don't know how to play like a melody. I can read tabs, but if you show me like traditional sheet music, I will not be able to know where is it on the string. I have no idea. I'm very bad at like the picking. I don't know. I can do chords, and that's what I learned from day one, because the guitar for me was, and honestly still is, just the accompaniment to singing. So I didn't really care about, you know, playing anything else than just like move through chords, keep the rhythm, and sing on top of that. I think the very first song that I learned to play was Tim McGraw. Actually, yeah, I think it was Tim McGraw. I remember my old room, sitting on the bed with like the laptop open with like the chords and how they were like explained, and me playing it, and it was so hard at first, but I was so proud of myself and it felt so good. That was the beginning of it. I immediately started writing songs on the guitars because I was so inspired by this Taylor Swift, and I was really excited about her new album coming out. I may be remembering this wrong, but I'm pretty sure her album Fearless was to come out on the 11th of October. I don't even remember the year, but I remember that it was 11th of October because I wrote it on my hand, and I would write the date on my hand every day in like expectation of the new album. Like, I was that obsessed. And something that I wanted to talk to you, apart from music, like, yes, she was the reason I decided to learn how to play guitar. I actually, you know, bought a guitar. She definitely influenced my songwriting a lot. And but apart from all of that, she also influenced other things in my life, namely my hair. It's so fun. I was not expecting to get into hair in this video, but thinking of my life and my journey with Taylor Swift, it's so interesting seeing how my look developed with her, so if that makes any sense. So like in like, what was it, high school, when Fearless was coming out, when it just came out, I found a curling iron, which was a very like thin curling iron. I still have it. It's so old, but it's very thin. It's like a wand. I would curl my hair after washing it, not like, you know, relaxed waves, but I would take very small strands and do like a very tight curl, and then in the morning it would be a little more relaxed, and I would wear that for like 2 or 3 days and slowly would become a little more relaxed and pretty. And I did that a lot, and I was trying to mimic Taylor's look of that time. I was looking through old photographs of me, but for some reason I can't find any photo of that specific time when I was obsessed with that hairstyle and I was doing it all the time. Actually looking through my photos, just based on how I was dressing and how I was doing my hair and stuff, I went through so many phases. Like, you can just tell that, oh, I know exactly who I was obsessed with right here. Sadly, I have no pictures of me trying to be that early era Taylor Swift. And the way the fascination went with me usually, you know, I would get so excited when the album would come out. I would like listen to those songs religiously day and night, and I would be like very into this, and then my attention would be pulled away to something else, and by the time the next album rolls out, I've already had like 5 different reincarnations. And so when Speak Now comes out, I again became obsessed with Taylor Swift, and I have a photo, sadly only one, of me, and this is by the Red Square. I went back to curling my hair, not though like a very tight curl anymore. I have the sort of like cowboy-like boots. I have the tights and the beanie. I'm gonna try and find a photo of Taylor around this time that would sort of match the vibe that I was going for here. And then I found something that I completely forgot about. So when the album Red came out, I was still in university, and Taylor had bangs. For a while she was using like fake bangs that she would just attach, and then she cut her own. Guess what I did? I bought myself bangs. It was ridiculous. I don't know what prompted me, how I even found the place that sold this. I don't remember. I do remember coming in the store just to like find out, you know, how much is it? And I remember being surprised at how cheap these like bangs were, so I bought them. And then I went to the hair salons so they could dye the bangs to match my color, which took a while because my hair is not dyed, so it's very hard to replicate like natural color because there are like a lot of, I don't know. Here are 2 photos that I took on my way out of that salon after they finished. Sadly, I don't have any other photo of me wearing the fake bangs with my hair. I didn't wear it a lot. I remember wearing it the first time to university and everyone asking me, oh my god, did you cut bangs? And I would say no. And they'd be like, what? And I remember the problem that I had. I bought the kind that like attaches to a headband, and the headband kept like slipping or like going too far back or too far front, and I just kept touching it up and trying to move it in a way that would work. It didn't really work out long time for me, but it was a very fun thing that, you know, I still kind of laugh at myself for doing it. And then Taylor cut her hair short, and coincidentally I did too. I actually really like this hairstyle. And then like 1989 came out and it was a completely different vibe of Taylor, her new style, and I was all about that. Since then, I've not really followed her, but I'm not as influenced, I guess, by her style. And I think it's a symptom of like getting older and having, I don't know, my own life. I don't know. I mean, I'm still heavily influenced by her music and her writing, songwriting. I'm just a big fan, okay? Anyway, this is my Taylor story. Talking about hair, I need to brush and blow dry. Tomorrow I'm getting my eyebrows done, which, you know, it's been over a year. It's time, and I'm kind of excited about it. And then I'm meeting a friend for lunch. Actually, I wanted to talk to you briefly about the prompts of the readathon. So Tis the Damn Readathon can be done in many different ways. You choose your own adventure. Basically, there are the 9 albums that Taylor Swift has released in her career, and each album has 3 prompts. 2 of them are bookish and 1 is random. And the way that I chose to do this readathon is to complete at least 1 prompt in each album. I will have collected all the albums by the end of next week. I already have most of them. I just have 2 left, and both of them will be completed once I read Agatha Christie's Death on the Nile, which I'll be reading next week for a buddy read and for the March of the Moderns readathon. But notwithstanding this, I would still like to complete some of the non-bookish prompts, like do a meditation, post a picture of your book on social media, stuff like that. I think it would be really fun. Am I the only one who wears sunglasses over the usual glasses? Double glasses, double power.
Never mind, never mind.
Hello, good evening. I just got home. It's like 8:30 p.m. The covers that I want to do for this vlog, I don't think I'm ready to record today. Am I gonna leave it to the last possible moment to do this, like I did with the previous vlog? Possibly. It's not a good idea, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So I'm gonna continue reading the novella A Shimmer in the Night, and from what I've already read yesterday, let me tell you, I should have read this before the 3rd book, because remember everything I said about, you know, not really remembering these characters and who they are and what is their relationship like? Yes, those things were not mentioned in the 1st book when we actually meet them. All of those things are explained in the novella. It literally takes you from the moment that Preston and Benji meet to the like moment right before book 3. I should have read that before book 3. Though I don't think it would have changed the rating I gave The Wrath of Wolves. So no harm done. Good morning, happy Monday. I'm about to go out and stop by the post office, but I wanted to show you stuff. First of all, last night I made this candle, and I made it out of old wax. So every time we finished a candle in the last like maybe year, I would collect the remaining wax, and like I had it in like one big bag. And I bought off of AliExpress these wooden, I don't know what they're called, things with a holder. I need words for this. And I just crammed the old wax in. It wasn't a very smooth process because I wasn't liquefying the wax before putting it in. I was just putting in little pieces of wax, and it's been melting. It like started off here, and now that it's all like melted together, it burns seamlessly. So that's one thing I did. Then this is my boyfriend David. For over a year now, he had this little guy in his head. It grew so much. It was so tiny. It was like a tiny little hat. And I held like the roots of it in this plastic bag this whole time. Kind of like I have with this one, but this has like a better bed inside. So it's actually secured. Here it was never secured. And I'm gonna move this one to this little thing and maybe move one of the small little guys in into David. So it's a few hours later. I finally repotted this little baby. It now has his own little home. And David got a new hat. A little baby. I did find a plastic cup that was small enough. I did have to like cut the top off for it to fit, but yeah. Look how pretty he is. Did I finish reading my novella? No. I have like 50 pages left. I don't know why every time I pick up something that's short, let's say under 200 pages, like 150, even sometimes 100 pages, then I think, oh, this is gonna be so fast. I'm gonna read it in one day. And for some reason, the short books take me so long to read. So the plan is to finish that novella today. And I think I'm gonna finish this vlog here, this Taylor Swift vlog. Initially had so many plans for the Taylor Swift readathon, but you know, life got hectic and this is the best I could do. Hopefully this was interesting. Next vlog you will see, the last vlog of March will be for the March of the Moderns readathon. Anyway, thank you so much for watching and I will see you in my next video.